Well, it could be the most provocative question ever about space. Are we alone in the universe?
Are there other thriving civilizations like ours out there? This video released last December by the Pentagon clearly shows an unidentified flying object, and it includes audio of two pilots trying to figure it out.
Bill Taylor joins us early tonight and gives us a closer look at this video and how it's prompting an even bigger question. Bill?
Yeah, before we get to our troposphere, let's go out beyond the stratosphere. You know, when it released this video, the U.S. Department of Defense said it's conducting studies on UFOs, it's conducting studies on the possibility of alien life. I mean, the vastness of our galaxy, the universe, says it's hard to believe there isn't at least something else out there. The question really is, if ever proven, would we be ready for this kind of reality? Do you feel the government is withholding information from us? And if so, why?
Well, that's a tough question. I'm going to say yes.
Bryan Tobias has been studying the stars for 45 years. Closing in on a doctorate in astronomy, he questions the video, but not the existence of alien civilizations.
I have to be very skeptical about it, you know. And don't get me wrong, something cool, top secret, spy plane, drone, or whatever is always cool in my books. But I just don't think it's enough to validate that, yeah, those are aliens.
In December, the U.S. Department of Defense released this video. You can even hear pilots trying to understand.
There's a whole fleet of them. Look on the SA.
Tobias feels the government has more truth that we Americans aren't ready to hear.
It's for our own good, of the well-being of the human race on this planet. Can you just imagine the religious, the cultural, all the other things, the theological influence that would have, the hysteria, the mayhem that could potentially cause?
Let's talk about religion and how God fits into this equation. If there really is a civilization out there like ours, did God create all of it? Did Jesus die for their sins too?
What in our faith says that we're the only people here?
Father Pat O'Brien of St. Pius Catholic Church says the Bible isn't going to have an answer to this question.
I mean, that would be the wrong place to look. It'd be like going to a cookbook to figure out how to get to Houston. And is it really that important for us to know that? We know that God loves us. We know that if there's any other creation, any other beings in the place, He loves them. Our God loves them.
Father O'Brien feels if there are other civilizations out there, our faith would be fine. Could we handle ourselves?
I don't think it would be a challenge to our faith. I think it would be to our challenge to how we see ourselves and our egos and how we sort of think we're it.
And that's where I've always been. I mean, I'm like, I'll believe in when I see Him. Mm-hmm. You know, I mean, it just is hard. But at the same time, Brian's convinced.
Yes, that was fascinating.
That there's something we don't know.
Right,
yeah.
and that the government's withholding.
Here's one thing I learned too, the biggest takeaway. The size alone, hundreds of millions of light years across, is just our galaxy, okay? There are so many other galaxies out there, we may never really know.
That's the amazing piece. It's hard to even wrap your head around those numbers, how big the galaxy really is. Yeah.